the person I want to talk about is Kamala. And I need to like be fucking hater number one here because I am fucking sick of these ironic Kamala shit posters and people trying to meme Kamala into being like, oh, she should just be president instead of Joe.
I want to say that I think it's tough. People are running into something tough here because on a purely human objective level, the words don't make sense, but imagine I'm modifying the sentence that I'm about to say. She is funny, right? You have this woman who
like how Hoda is funny.
Yes, in precisely the same way that Hoda is funny. Or like Stephen Smith or something like that. Like she's kind of
Stephen A. Smith's good.
Stephen A. Smith is genuinely funny. She's not funny like Stephen Smith. He's got some genuine talent to him. And
he's juiced.
Yeah, he's juiced. But Kamala she says really funny long sentences, or like more like it's funny that she's saying them because she is almost like has like a kind of negative charisma that like bends itself around to be charming on like a level that is actually less than charming, but approximates something that is reaching towards charming. And so, and also for many years
she's like a tipsy aunt.
She's like a tipsy aunt, and for many years was essentially like shunted to like really out of the limelight in any way, and to the point where like you kind of forget that she's there.
Yeah, I mean, I see the Biden people basically were like, where can we send her so she's not doing anything?
We got to send her to the
because
border.
She's a perennial loser.
Yes.
She's incredibly unpopular. And she has the ability to sort of like just speak and sing song in ways that are, kind of confusing and unrelatable.
Well, it's a song that perhaps we don't yet know the rhythm of. But she was very easy to sort of like be like a joke funny figure because she is funny, and she's like had essentially like no. Vice presidents famously are like kind of useless job.
I fucking said on the podcast that I thought she was funny. She is funny.
She's funny.
This isn't funny though.
However, now the stakes are different.
Well, it's not even about her. This is what annoys me. There is a whole coterie of people, from New York Times op-ed like media people to Substack media people to Twitter shit posters to I don't know, everyone trying to everyone in between that has aspirations to be a New York Times op-ed writer, right? Mm-hmm. You have a dispersed media class that I fucking loathe, who have all come out en masse, ironically supporting Kamala, and it's turned into non-irony. And what pisses me off is that half of those fucking people, especially those who are, claim to have, left-leaning bona fides or whatever, are, spent the last 6-7 months being like, I will never vote for Genocide Joe. Never vote for Genocide Joe. And now are finding something. They're like, oh, but I'm fine with voting for Kamala, one, because she's tipsy aunt funny, and aren't we just like making up memes, and isn't this funny? But also as if she is somehow any different from any sort of like inert Democrat policy or like orientation of the state towards Israel. Like you're just looking for an excuse to vote Democrat.
Every 4 years, you see people who have spent the previous 3 years pretending that they were, rah, whatever, radicals.
Yeah.
Get serious for a moment and like and figure out, sometimes desperately, as in this case, a way for them to justify voting for Democrats. And listen, there's a lot of people that vote for Democrats. There's a lot of people who vote for lots of things. I'm not your parents. I will be one day. And in fact, one day when I'm sort of the father of the nation, there won't be any voting at all. But, I'm not going in there with you. I will be, but I'm not now. Just be a Democrat. Like, just be one.
Well,
like,
I think they are.
Yeah,
This is
I know,
them
but
being-
like, be like, I like, don't fucking hide it. Like, don't pretend like under 8 shades of embarrassment or like whatever. Like, oh, I fucking like. There's so much of like the radical rhetoric, and then it becomes this sort of like self-disciplining and then disciplining other people of like. Actually, like there's a palpable. You can feel an almost relief among some people.
Yes.
That like yes. If Genocide Joe is out of there, then I'm sort of cleansed, or the Democratic Party, and thus me by extension, are cleansed of like any possible moral quandary with the Israel-Palestine stuff.
Because I can vote for this like funny drunk aunt
Yes.
who's silly, and actually I'm doing it ironically, kind of.
Yes, yeah, and like it, but it's like it's the action is the action, no matter what you put, what justification you make for it, and. It's I think there is this desire from people that like Joe Biden, as like you're sort of punishing Joe Biden by nationally humiliating him and like having him be a one-term president because he's too old. And then there's this sort of like jubilance over like now we can vote for Kamala now, and like it's funny and like but also like it allows us to shed some of the baggage of the Joe Biden administration, which I think a lot of these same people would have actually very much supported if it hadn't been because the Gaza thing was it was too tough to swallow.